Hi everybody, it's Crystal, and today I'm signing in because I wanted to talk a little bit about infertility. This is, in case no one knows, this is National Infertility Awareness Week, and to me, this week is a week that allows you to be open and free about how you feel about infertility. I think it's really important for people who are infertile to speak out and to share their stories and their thoughts and their fears and all of that stuff during this week, because I think there's so many women out there who are infertile, who fear that they may be infertile, and they're in that period where they haven't come out yet. It's like, in a way, it's like coming out of the closet of being infertile, I think, because I know for years and years I knew that I was infertile. I did. I mean, I hadn't been to the doctor. I didn't know for sure, but my gut told me that something was wrong, and I didn't do anything about it. And just to give you an idea, my husband and I, we got married in 2003. I had gotten pregnant in 2004 and had a miscarriage. That was my second miscarriage. We did get pregnant once before getting married. We didn't tell our families about it. We just kind of thought, whoops, we're just going to keep this to ourselves. No one needs to know about it. We were pretty young, and we didn't want people to think that we were irresponsible, not ready for a baby, that kind of stuff. And so at that time, I never thought that miscarriage would later on in my life have any significance at all. I just thought it was just something that happened to me, and that was it, and I really never talked about it. And then I had the miscarriage in 2004, and that was really sad. I mean, again, we weren't necessarily ready for a baby. No one really ever is, but we were still pretty young. I was 21. I was 21, or 20, I think. No, I was 20. So I was young, and I'm sure there were tons of women out there who probably were infertile at the time. If they'd known that I was pregnant, they would have just been burning holes in my head because I was so young. I wouldn't have deserved to get pregnant. I kind of hate that people think that, because you never know what a woman's issue is. But anyways, I'm getting a little distracted. So after that miscarriage in 2004, probably a couple months after that, my husband and I just kind of secretly decided that we weren't going to use any protection anymore. We were just like, we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a problem. It's better to kind of figure it out now. And so that was in 2004. 2004. It is now 2013. So I didn't even go to see a doctor for my fertility issues until 2010. So I let myself suffer mentally and physically for that long period of time. And I mean, the first, 3, 4, 5 years were probably silent suffering. I didn't really tell people that we were trying because we were young, and we thought that there might have been a problem. So that's kind of why we were like, let's just see what happens. But I didn't want to hear other people's judgments or opinions or anything like that, so I kept it to myself. So, in a way, I kind of harmed myself because I didn't let people know we were trying, so people didn't know that we'd been trying for a while and that maybe there was a problem. Someone could have said, hey, you've been trying for a year? Well, maybe you have a problem. I just kept telling myself, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Well, we're not really ready right now, so it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not okay. I remember whenever I went to and so this is another thing. Because of my fear of the infertility, knowing that something was wrong, part of the reason I didn't go is because I was deathly afraid that it was myself, that it was me that something was wrong with, because I had had such horrible periods, and, I had, in high school, the end of high school, and after high school, I made several trips to the emergency room with intense excruciating pain, thinking something was wrong with me, and they would tell me that it was just cramps, or that I needed to go see a doctor. And I did have one doctor at that time tell me that you may have endometriosis, and I just I don't know why I didn't take it more seriously. I guess I didn't realize how badly it could affect my fertility. So I really didn't do anything about it. I just suffered with it. I dealt with it and thought, I kind of took on this warrior spirit where I was like, I have this problem and I'm just going to tough it out. Well, no, don't do that. It's bad. That's how you get stage 4 endometriosis, as you let it go and you don't have any idea of how serious it really is. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, in 2010, I finally, I was having I was so depressed in life, and I guess I really didn't realize it was all mostly because of my infertility and my fears of it and the insecurities I had about it, and just the inability to get pregnant month after month after month after month, and not having any scares. I had gotten pregnant twice before that, so I just kind of, I never once had a time where I was like, oh my God, I might be pregnant. I never got that again, and so I just really thought, something is not right. So in 2010, I made an appointment, and I went and saw an OBGYN to get a pap smear, because in that 5 years or 5 or 6 years that I was just silently struggling alone in my head, and I mean, Josh knew about it, but we never really talked about it, and I didn't get a pap smear because I was so afraid to go in and see a doctor and have them ask me, oh, when are you going to try for a family, that kind of thing. I just didn't want to talk about it. I was so in denial. Oh, I was in denial, and when I look back on who I felt and was as a person back then, it makes me so sad, because I was miserable for a while, and I just let myself be that way, and there was no one out there that said, go seek help, and because I wasn't talking about it with friends or family. So, I mean, with some of my girlfriends, I did start to kind of talk about it towards the end, like getting closer to 2010, probably I would say anywhere from 2006 and up. I kind of had told some of my friends, and they, would just say, keep trying. They were extremely supportive. They really never said things that were insensitive, whatever. So 2010, I go to my doctor, and I cried and sobbed and bawled my eyes out for the entire appointment. I cried before I even got into the room to see her. I cried giving my payment. I felt all of this intensity inside of me. It makes me want to cry now, but I felt so much emotion just bubbling out of my body that I needed to tell someone. I was so depressed because of it, and so I went to that appointment, and I cried and told the doctor everything, and she gave me a prescription for Zoloft, and told me to come back the next time I have my period, and we'd get started with some testing and start Clomid. So I went home that day, and I cried, and I told my husband all about it, and I got my prescription for Zoloft, which I only took the Zoloft right when I ovulated and to the 2 weeks leading up to my period, because I told her basically, with the way I was feeling, it really felt like after I had my period, I was fine for those 2 weeks. But once I ovulated, and it wasn't because I was testing or using OPKs or anything like that. I honestly didn't do that stuff. I kept track, and after a while, I just stopped doing all of that stuff. So, but I knew my body well enough. So, but I felt like when I hit the ovulation point, it was like a downward spiral from there. I emotionally just got progressively worse throughout the month. I was so irritable and just stressed and unhappy and sad that she said just to take the Zoloft during that period of time, and that it would help me. And so I'm just going to say I don't take the Zoloft anymore. I did stop over the summertime when I started taking, no, I think I stopped in November. I was taking some Zoloft over the summer after my failed IUIs, just to kind of help me out again, because I was struggling. So I haven't been taking Zoloft in like 4 months. So that, because I knew that we were going to be getting ready for IVF, I didn't want to have anything in my system that would just cause an effect or anything like that. Not that it would. I think you can still take certain antidepressants while pregnant. I just didn't want to do that. I felt that I was stronger at that time, that I could handle my emotions without the Zoloft. And so, yeah, so that's kind of my infertility story. And from there, I saw my doctor. We started seeing her. We did 5 rounds of Clomid. None of it worked. I got horrible cysts. I had cyst rupture. I wound up having to go see an RE. I saw the RE. I was getting ready to do my very first IUI, went in for my baseline sonogram, found a monster cyst on my left side of my ovary, immediately was scheduled for, well, not immediately, not like the next day, but I was scheduled for surgery to have a lap surgery done. So I had that in that July of 2011, and found out that I had stage 4 endometriosis again because I waited so long before doing anything about it. So it's kind of my fault in a way. I mean, not really. I don't blame myself. I mean, I do kind of, but not to the point where I can't function mentally. But so, we did the IUIs. I got pregnant on my first IUI, had a miscarriage at 9 weeks. Well, lost the baby at about 8.5 weeks, and then miscarried at home at 10 weeks. In November of 2011. So, and the thing is we did our IUI, we did surgery in July of 2011. I waited 1 month, August. We did it in September, and I got pregnant, like immediately. So whatever they did when they did my surgery definitely cleared some stuff out and allowed that egg and sperm to meet and make it to my uterus. But unfortunately, we did miscarry that baby as well. So, we did 2 more IUIs after that and then took a really long break, and now we are getting ready for IVF. So all I'm saying is your journey doesn't have to be as long as mine is. And, any journey is painful for any woman. I'm going to say that. It doesn't matter if you've been trying. I mean, it does kind of, like if you've been trying for a month and you're upset and obsessed that you haven't gotten pregnant, that's hard for the infertile community to deal with. Sometimes that hits us like just a slap in the face but it does not discount a woman's feelings for trying to get pregnant and having that feeling that first month of it not working. It's devastating when you hear all your life that, oh my God, it's so easy to get pregnant. Be careful. It's so easy. And then you try and it doesn't work. It is devastating inside to a woman. It is just excruciatingly painful. And like I said, it doesn't matter how long you've been trying. Again, it kind of does, like the first couple months, I think when you hit a 6-month mark and a year mark, that's really, you're feeling what other women feel who are considered infertile. And I know in this community, there's a lot of people who watch my videos. I know a lot of you probably have been trying for a while, and some of you may not be diagnosed infertile, but if any of you are fearful out there and you've been wanting to see a doctor, all I'm going to say as an advocate of infertility is that when you think something is wrong, you should go. You should go and seek help and find out. Even if there's nothing big wrong, it's something little, even if you're not necessarily ready to try right now, if you think you have an internal female problem, go to the doctor and find out. Because if you're not ready to try, there are things that you can do to protect yourself between the time that you're not trying and the time that you do decide. I just can't even express to people how important it is to take action and to take care of your own body. You are the only person who is responsible for your body. And I know people are religious and things like that, and some people put that in the hands of God, and I understand and I respect that. I am not a super religious person, so I don't put all of my faith into God. But I don't disrespect those who do, because this is every woman's journey to get pregnant is totally different than the next woman. So I just think that you should never compare your journey to someone else's. You should never compare your infertility story to someone else's, your miscarriages to someone else's, any of that stuff, because every woman feels it differently. Every woman goes through it and suffers and cries, and even men go through it. There are so many men out there who are on the other end of infertility, and they don't really get spoken about as much. And for any men out there who might be watching my video who may be infertile, or husbands of women who are going through this process and are infertile, the men, my heart goes out to you, because I know there's not a ton of support out there for that, your gap, that range of people. And I definitely think, again, this is the week where you stand up and you say what's on your mind. And if there are men out there watching, or if you have husbands out there who maybe their swimmers are the issue, and they're confident enough to speak, tell them to make a video, spread awareness. That's all I can say, is to spread awareness about infertility and to stand up and to not be afraid, because your story might inspire someone else to open up and share their stories and to lessen that burden that they have sitting on their shoulders. because infertility is extremely intense. It is a very difficult burden to carry. And you don't carry it alone. Your husband or your partner, your wife, she carries it with you. He carries it with you. Your family carries it with you. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye.